All right, you made it through all the training videos dealing with the different types of documents you can create to store and organize your information. But you need to be thinking strategically as you use Logos and add all these documents because over time, it can get overwhelming with all the information you have spread out in a variety of documents. Let's go to Docs and you can see my Docs list. Now, strategy number one, if the document is focusing on a passage or passage range, that's the primary content, then you should put in the Bible verse as the name of the document. That is critical. Now, if you have more than one document with that name, then I recommend putting in parentheses the first letter of the type of documents. P for prayer list, N for notebook, W for word list, etc. Now, the reason we do this is because if you don't put in that letter, then the name is not unique, and Logos will put in parentheses a number to let you know it's 3-4 documents that you have with the same name. And that can be a little difficult at times when you're trying to quickly identify, hey, I need my document on Ephesians 2, 1 through 10, and I need the prayer list. Any content that focuses on a Bible passage, name that document after that passage or passage range, and then put in parentheses the first letter or first couple letters of the type of document. The second strategy is when it comes to topics. Now, topics can come in a variety of flavors. For example, we had this union that we did, and so Logos kind of named it for us. That's one example of a topic. But let me scroll down and give you some other examples. These are my sermon notes that I take when I hear someone preach. I don't put the verse in the title because Logos has a verse section, and I can search that, and so I can find it pretty easily. I'm going to click on Visual Filter so you can see how I've named some of these documents. Now, some are pretty straightforward. NT verbs, New Testament verbs, and that's the focus. Places in the New Testament. Louanida, 5 W's and an H. As you can see, there are very specific titles that capture what it is all about. So visual filters are pretty straightforward. You're usually building them to focus on a particular subject matter. Now, the ones you're probably going to have the hardest time labeling really is going to be your notebooks, because resource collections are very specific. Passage lists are dealing with passages. Sentence diagrams are dealing with passages. Sermons, again, you could put the verse in, but they're pretty straightforward there. Syntax search, that can be a little tricky, but we always name the search what you're looking for. Clippings is going to be based off a passage or a topic, so that's pretty straightforward. We just looked at visual filter. Bibliographies are straightforward. It's going to be around a topic or a theme. Canvas is very similar to sentence diagramming, so those are going to be named the same. Word lists are going to be focusing on a subject. Word find puzzle based on a passage. Handouts, this is no longer available as a feature in Logos 9, though it does keep track of your old handouts. Prayer lists are pretty straightforward, topic or people. Reading plan is named after the books, and morph query is typically based off of a certain type of morphological construction. So let's go to Notebook and take a look at some of the options there. Now, as you can see, I've named some of my notebooks right after a passage because all my notes are focused on that. Then sometimes I have a topic, fundamentals of the faith. Here for Spring Creek was an event I went to, and so that's the name of that particular document. Here we have messianic prophecies, etc. So as you start to look through my list, you're starting to realize that I'm pretty consistent. We're looking for a Bible passage or a topic, and that's the focus of these notes. So as you organize, keep that in mind as your primary labels. Now, here's what's really helpful. Let's do a search, and I'm going to go to Basic Search, All Text, All Resources. Let's click on All Resources, and let's choose your document. We've named some documents, Ephesians 2, 1 through 10. Let's put that in there, and let's run the search. Now, this is why you don't have to get too complicated or too complex with the labels for your documents, because Logos has the ability to search and find this information. So here we have your documents and your personal books. Let's focus on your documents. Logos automatically organizes it by the categories, clipping, notes, passage lists. So that's real helpful. And then if we expand that, we can see the documents. Now you're starting to understand why this labeling is significant, because in a matter of seconds, I can quickly identify the content of that note before I get into the details of where that note was found. So if we click and expand, we now can find Ephesians 2:2, which is in my notes. So that's really the idea here, is by naming your documents after a verse or key topic, when you run a search based on a verse or key topic, Logos is going to bring it back and make it a whole lot easier for you to find the information. Now let's click and expand sermon, because I do want you to see this. So here we have abiding in John, and we can see our passage there with the cross reference. So again, very easy to find something functionally. All right, now notice at the right that we've been searching by type. That's why the line is underlined. Let's now click by title. Now, by clicking by title, we can look specifically at all the documents with the title. And all we have to do now is scroll down to the letter E, and now we can see all the documents with Ephesians 2:1 through 10. So even though my Ephesians 2:1 through 10 passage is mentioned in all these documents, by sorting by name or by title, I can see those documents that focus on Ephesians 2:1 through 10. So in closing, be intentional and descriptive with the names of your documents so that they're easier to find and identify when you're searching for information within those documents.